Ciao guys, welcome back to the Climb Along podcast. My name is John.
My name is Ira.
And today we're going to talk about why we're leaving the military. So we are going to be covering why I joined the military in the first place, what has been our experience in the military, and what is our decision when it comes to leaving the military and joining the civilian life. So,
yeah, we're going to start with just having you share why you came here. What made you stop by the recruiter's office, or were you, I don't know, pulled into it?
Yeah.
How old were you? Like 19, right?
I was 19
Pretty
years
young.
old. I remember all throughout high school, my dad was actually encouraging me to go to the Guard and Reserves. But I kept saying, no, I'm never going to go in the military. I'm never going to go into the military. I'm going to be a rich car salesman. That didn't happen. I was helping out my parents in their gas station store from 17 years old to 19 years old. And somewhere along the way, I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to break free, go to a different town, go to a different city, travel, have my, I was in community college at the time, and have my college paid for. So I was just struggling late at night. I think I was sleeping on the floor. And I asked myself, okay, if I want to go into the military, because this is the best way to just get out of the house, what should I do? So I was watching some funny military videos, and then Jocko Willink, this very, very famous, popular Navy SEAL, and he talks about joining the military. And then I was like, okay, if he's a Navy SEAL, that's like the hardest job in the military. But what is actually the hardest job in the military? Because I don't want to be on a boat. I was like, is there like special operations for Air Force? And lo and behold, there was. So I started training for Air Force pararescueman. I was there for about 8 months, training under a pararescue mentor, CCT mentor.
That was before like BMT?
This was before BMT, exactly. So when I went to BMT, it was very easy because we overtrained before basic training. And when I went to basic training, it actually was like summer camp, where actually
little extreme summer camp.
It wasn't extreme at all compared to what I experienced with the PJ and CCT mentors. But I got unfit and I got sick. So I was training for that. And then little down the line, as soon as it came to the time where I needed to ship out, the commander of the recruiting squadron at the time said that, hey, your waiver did not get pushed through for my eyesight when it comes to pararescuemen, because at the time regulations changed where it wasn't any longer correctable to 2200 vision. So I had to change to a SEER, which is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape, SEER contract, SEER instructor. And then I headed off to the military. Now you might say, well, how did I get maintenance management operations with F-22s, F-16s, helicopters, and nuclear systems? Well, let's just say that there was a psychological test and it deemed me not able to do special operations career fields. So they reclassed me into
a desk job.
Which is so funny because I remember having a conversation with one of the people who was guarding one of the lifeguards at the pool in Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado, where I would train before the going to basic training. And I told him I would never, ever get a desk job. And lo and behold, I got a desk job, which is, to be honest, I'm thankful because God is sovereign. He brought me to Virginia, where I was just broken over my sin, and then I was saved, and then brought me to Italy, And then, I met you, then we got married, now we have a kid on the way. So all in all, it was such a blessed thing to be put in a desk job. But yeah, that's basically why I was here. I know that my parents did not take well of it when I first was saying that I wanted to go into the military, even though they encouraged me to go into the military at first. It was just because at the time with the gas station business, they were hoping to pass it down to either me and my brother. But I wanted to make a name for my own self rather than stay in Colorado Springs having to do, I was working 16-hour days Monday through Saturday, and even on Sundays after quote-unquote Catholic church, we also had to go to Sam's Club and stock up. So I wanted none of that. I wanted to travel. I wanted to go places. And yeah, this is why I'm here. It's been 6 years and a few months.
Yeah. Looking back to like the time when you were like 19, joining the military, do you think that, if some like other guy was in that place, would you encourage him now that you had your experience in the military? Like, would you encourage him to join? Like, as if you were talking to your younger self?
Yeah, I would. To be honest, I would say yes, but look at all your options first before you dive deep into the military. Because at the end of the day, it's a contract that you literally sign your life away for a certain amount of time. And when I say your life away, the military is the profession of arms in which you are called upon 24/7. Speaking of which, anything that is spoken in this video, I've got to put out a disclaimer, anything that is spoken in this video and podcast has no representation of any organization that I'm affiliated with, including the DoD or Air Force. This is all my opinion and our own individual property IP rights. Okay, so now that's out of the way.
Don't sue us.
Don't sue us. Now that's out of the way. The military is the profession of arms where you are on call 24/7, basically. That is why your supervisors have the ability to call you from weekend duty, have the ability to call you. If there needs to be a deployment, they say, get ready your 72-hour bag, 48-hour bag, sometimes even 24-hour bag, and then head out the door. The military definitely has a lot of benefits, but again, it's a profession of arms. You have to be ready at any moment, at any time. It's not one of those things where you can just leave work and then just keep work at work, although we try as best as we can to leave work at work. But at the end of the day, you always have to have your phone open and ready just in case.
Yeah, but that's not as big of an issue for like most, I would say, like young adults and such, or just single people, like, you are kind of ready to be up and going.
Yeah.
But that is a part of like your story that, why like you joined and then now you're at a place where, we are deciding to move away from it is because, our life changed, and looking at the military as a family is way different than what it was for you when you were just joining as a 19-year-old.
Exactly. So, so just to wrap up my answer would be yes, but take a look at other opportunities as well, especially in the new age of AI. You can create your own startup immediately. In the age where there's actually a high rise of blue collar jobs like the trades are a good way to go to be able to get paid and do training at the same time. You do a 4-year apprenticeship. Think about it. Most military contracts are 4 or 6 years. If you do a 4-year apprenticeship, paid, maybe the same pay is quote unquote quite the same as the first 4 years in the military as it is in the civilian world when it comes to trades. But afterwards, you can be your independent tradesperson and you get paid a lot more money. Well, like in the military, I'm getting out now. If I were to wanting to go to pivot into a trades career field, I have to start from the bottom again, and then work my way up. So really take a audit at the things that may help you in the future professionally. Take a look at our previous video about goal setting, and just take a look at your big five and filter out the decision through that and what type of career you're looking for. The military, I would highly recommend the military for people who, one, really want to just go up and move and travel everywhere and not have to worry about a roof over your head. Yeah. If you want to travel everywhere with a stable paycheck and have a roof over your head, the military is for you, definitely, especially if you're young and single.
Yeah, and it's easier to start because you think like, oh, I'm moving out of my parents' house, and first of all, I gotta get like a job that pays. Then I gotta rent an expensive apartment. But in the military, it's kind of like you get put into dorms. You get paid what you need to stay there technically.
Yes.
So yeah, it has a lot of benefits. And a lot of our single, like young friends, they're kind of all in college as well. So using the military and ability to study and those benefits is really great because, I mean, again, with the prices for college nowadays, you really want to take every chance you have, even just to finish college. Yeah. Within like 4-year contract or something.
And a beautiful thing, go to WGU. There's a ton of YouTube videos out there being able to complete your bachelor's degree within 6 months. Check out WGU. If you want to keep on doing the military life route, I highly recommend if you're going enlisted, if you don't have a bachelor's degree yet, do WGU. Graduate your bachelor's degree, go OTS, officer training school, and become an officer, and then you'll have a way better active duty life as an officer than you do enlisted.
Yeah, and that's another...
My opinion.
And that's another part of so there's always like benefits and drawbacks. So again, there's a lot of benefits you can take if you plan for it. Because again, a lot of young people go and they don't plan. It's kind of like you ask people and you're like, you're not enjoying this, but how did you end up here? But on the other hand, there's also like the drawbacks of how a lot of young people get drawn into not so good communities, which can happen anywhere. But I mean, when you have a ton of like young people accumulated in a job that, technically, I mean, you can get fired, but it is way more patient with you than some other just regular secular job where, they can just tell you when they can just tell you hey, you're not working well, you're going to leave in a month, they got to give you some sort of maybe 2 weeks or so. But in the military, it's like, even if people are behaving improperly, there's a lot of patience, which kind of teaches young people to
mature.
Oh, no, I'm talking on the other hand. I'm talking that it trains them that I can push my boundaries because, I got a contract and, maybe I got this letter of, what is it called? Like when you do something wrong.
Oh, yeah, letter of reprimand.
Yeah, but they would get that and then, it's kind of like a warning.
Reprimand, yeah, exactly. Or sometimes it can go all the way to the other side of Article 15s.
Yeah, but still, you see how much patience is there, and some people we can see that they just abuse that in a way, and they're like, well, I'm still here, whatever kind of thing. But that is definitely something that they would not see in the civilian sector as much. Yes. So there's again, there's the good side, there's the bad side, but I feel like if a young person is really considering all of the benefits and trying to make the most, I feel like it's definitely just like in your case, was definitely beneficial.
Yeah, never would I have thought I'd be living in Italy since 2021. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I only thank the Lord that I got the opportunity to live in Italy for as long as I have had. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now let's a little move on to the part where we're gonna talk about our experience. So
Yes, together.
yeah, we know how you came here,
Yes.
how you came into the military, and now let's just chat a little bit about how was our experience, which I
Yeah.
think, I mean, just generally speaking, it was really good so far. I mean, thanks to God, we're separating and we have not had a deployment, which I am like
yeah.
breathing out. And I know there are women, I'm talking like specifically, you know, in a family situation, like spouses, that would be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm fine with my husband going on a deployment, you know, yeah, it's a little tough, but you know, it happens. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm not. It was like the fear in the back of my head, just that dread that it's not like, you know, that like next year or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, oh, you know, in 6 months you're gonna be going for for half a year or even more, which yeah. So but we didn't have that. So that's
Yes,
good. We
praise
did
the
have
Lord.
some, you know,
A few TDYs.
yeah, a few TDYs, which sometimes it's kind of throws you off because, you know, again, you can't plan for them. Those ones are even less scheduled. Like that can be like, oh, next month you're going, which I feel like does impact our life. And I remember I was in the States and we were already doing long distance because I had to be away from my documents. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's going to the States for TDY, and I'm like, wait, I was just about to come back. Like, are we just gonna like cross our ways? And then you start planning, okay, how do we do a TDY together? All of that.
Yeah.
And it just like adds up. It's like just that instability of, you know, just not knowing what's gonna be in the next few months. You can't plan out your year as much as we would prefer, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little bit of the drawbacks and such.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think for us, one of the benefits when it comes to being outside of the military is the ability to stay together, not having to do long distance anymore, at least, especially in marriage. It's so hard being long distance in marriage. And it's not recommended. It's definitely a lot easier being long distance than in dating, but still, I don't recommend a long distance marriage whatsoever, especially with a baby on the way too. Some people can just do it well, but for us, we thrive very well whenever we're together. So one other thing is just that sometimes our one drawback, I would have to say, is just constantly you make best friends really quickly.
Yeah.
That should be a good thing, but the bad thing is they move away really quickly, too quickly. You only get to know them for a short amount of time, usually 2 years, 3 years, sometimes if the Lord blesses it, 4 years, you know. But most of the time it's 2 or 3 great years, and then they're gone. They're going to another location. They're going to Belgium, Georgia, Florida.
You know who you are.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the sad part of it.
And even the church community, how it impacts the church that you are near, because usually, you know, of course, you live somewhere near a base,
Yes.
which has a lot of people who are military in the church as well, and then that creates a very transient church community, which again creates it so hard to bond with people. And well, again, as you said, you do bond with people, but it's kind of like in the back of your head, you know that you're gonna have to say goodbye, and it's always hard for the people who are staying, especially for like longer assignments, or maybe the people who are, you know, in that community but they're not military, you know, but you get to know them, and then you are leaving, and then leaving them behind. Yeah. But then on the other hand, there's also like the benefit of the community, which, I mean, I don't think necessarily is something that we sought after or necessarily like experience the benefits of, but I do see it being very helpful, is that you know, people in the military, especially like spouses with children, they usually have really good like kind of like community events, support for just, you know, especially in new bases where, you know, people need to meet new people. But I feel like military does create that like tie that like, oh, you know, we don't have to be from the same city, we don't have to, I don't know, have a lot of in common, but like we're military spouses and we have kids, so let's just create this like play group or something like that. And I see that being very helpful for people, which I feel like if you just move, you know, with a regular job, it would be a little harder because like you don't really necessarily have a place to go to unless you maybe sign up for some, I don't know, like kids swim lessons and start meeting people there. So yeah, again, there's drawbacks and benefits of the community.
One other thing that I want to add when it comes to the community benefits of, at least in the Air Force, is something that we didn't take advantage of because we just really leaned heavily on our church community. But for those who don't have a church community or maybe leans on more onto the base, there are things like the Key Spouse program where there are people, there is a spouse that is attached to a squadron that keeps track of all the spouses in that squadron, you know, gets to see, okay, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is there anything that you need help with? Can I reach out to you? And that's a program that has helped a lot of people, especially in when there are times where there are hard, you know, like whenever marriages are hard or whenever
they move to a new place and the spouse leaves for deployment immediately.
Exactly. And there's also programs in which if your spouse wants to work, there are programs that can place your spouse for a career on base. Not only that, there's also like our first shirts. First shirts have the access and ability to contact your spouse to see if things are going well. There's also counselors and also financial help as well. AFSAS is what the Air Force has. It's a Air Force Aid Assistance Fund that whenever there are people who are in financial need, they're willing to go on and give you some financial funds in order to help. We didn't use those benefits because it just didn't seem like we needed it.
Which is fine. I mean, there's people who, you know, do make use of it, and I feel like I ghosted the key spouse person.
Oh no! I made sure to tell them like.
No, there was one when you moved to a different workplace, and then there was someone who texted me, and I didn't know about the program. I was like, oh, someone has texted me, and I checked the message, and they're like, yeah, like please, like share the details with me. I'll keep like check on you, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll look at it later, and I never did. But yeah, again, all that to say, there's a lot of benefits, and even talking about like family life. There's a lot of, again, instability in kind of like your life pattern, you know, your schedules, but stability in income.
Yes, that's a big one.
A lot of benefits as well. Like there's so much you don't have to think about when you're in the military, like insurance.
Life insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance. All the insurances, well, except for auto insurance.
But there's so many benefits in that like now that we are getting out, especially since you came into the military so early.
Yes.
You're like, oh wow, like you gotta do all these things yourself. You gotta research all these things. Like, you know, nobody takes care of all of that for you. And even just the benefits, as you said, like the financial advice, like, you know, you're struggling with something, you can just go to all the kinds of different advisors and all of that and kind of get that support. Yeah, I would say that the military definitely takes care of its people.
Yeah, especially if you're overseas, housing and COLA and OHA, which is just basically utilities, like the extra money that they give you because you're overseas, whew, make you a good change while you're out here overseas.
Yeah, but again,
you're gonna be in civilian life, and you won't get relocation allowance.
Yeah, but again, sometimes it can lead, like that strong stability can lead some people, usually not families, but can lead some people to just be so relaxed and like, oh, I got a paycheck coming, like I got my dorm room, like everything is done. And then you talk to them about finances, they're like, oh, I don't really know what I'm spending, what I'm getting.
Yes.
So it does put people sometimes into a place where they do not learn those skills to actually, manage your own like expenses and all of that, just because there's so much that is provided for you.
Exactly.
But for families, it's pretty good, I think. Like it's really good for, people with kids especially. And
shout out to our financial video if you are struggling on your finances, how to do finances in your 20s. Check it out in podcast. So moving forward. Yep. So now, why have we both came to the decision of leaving the military? I know we both have two different viewpoints, but we've came together in the reasons why we wanted to leave. And I think the biggest reason why we wanted to leave is, again, that stability of not having to move constantly or not having the long distance like marriage.
Yeah, I would say that that was a big part of it. Like, of course, there's like those little things that we specifically are like, okay, we really don't want to have this be a part of our life, like deployments or I think we're pretty good with moving. I feel like we do enjoy traveling and such, but I think there's like a few things which are like the little details that contributed to the decision that was just like, okay, this is not really the life we want to have. But I feel like the main one is just, again, going back to like what we talked in the podcast about our goals, is that, when we look at our goals and our, 10-year goals and such, like we couldn't see exactly like military retirement fitting them just because of the lengths of how, it would take us like 15 more years. Well, not from now, but from the time when we started making the decision. It would take us
20 years. It would be 14. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. 14, I'm just saying that like at that time it was like, okay, well, this is not like, oh, can we stay in for 5 more years? It was like, okay, if we want to stick with this, we're going to stick with this for a long time. Yeah. And just looking at our goals 10 years down the line, we're like, okay, there are places and things we want to reach by that time that staying in the military would keep postponing it.
Exactly, yeah.
And just, I know we're young and technically it's not like we're running out of time and like you wouldn't be able to, reach those goals. But I feel like, when we took that into account, we were like, okay, it's way too big of a commitment and way too long for us to reach the goals, taking into account all the things that would come into it, like deployments and relocation and all
TDYs,
of that.
Different trainings.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And plus the fact that you yourself did not see that you could work for 15 more years in a job that you are not passionate about.
Right, exactly.
That's, we have some friends who, want to change a career, but they're like 3 years away from the retirement. And I'm like, of course, like we would probably also choose to stay. Yeah. Because, you can stick it out just for those few years, but I think that was like the biggest push for us, is that, okay,
we have a lot of goals.
Yeah, it's way too long to reach what we want, which is kind of in the opposite direction.
Right, yeah. And I think also one of the big things as well, you can correct on this, my love, but also the military DoD in general has a ban on traveling for military members to Ukraine, and Ira's parents and grandparents are all in Ukraine, and I haven't met
most of my family.
Most of your family
Yeah.
at all. You're able to meet all of my family whenever we fly back to the States, but I'm not able to meet your family. And that was one of the things where, okay, I want to be able to meet their family because, your grandparents are not getting any younger. And especially with James coming up and being born soon, we want them to be able to see their grandchild, so.
And you wanted to visit too.
Exactly. I really wanted to visit.
I agree. Yeah, that was one of the things that was like, again, I would say the little details that were, just reassuring the decision.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's, it wasn't really like a big, like it is a big decision, but I feel like it wasn't like really hard for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it is with some like decisions that really shape your life, is that like you really know what has to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take time to think and plan. Of course, there's a ton of planning that we went through already, and there's so much still to go and so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
But I think that like with such big decisions, like you really know what has to happen.
Yes.
It's either you are like pushing yourself, making yourself think maybe, I shouldn't be doing this because it's too hard or so. But it's like in reality, when what was the right decision? It was just like, okay, how do we get there? That's what it was for us.
Yes. And to be honest, while I was at Airman Leadership School, ALS, we had a mentor. I think the class's mentor, they get assigned a chief master sergeant. And since I'm in maintenance, it was a surprise to me when the group chief maintenance group chief was our mentor. And I walked up to him and talked to him because he talked about how he wanted to get out, but he enlisted, and then now he's a chief. And I asked him, well, okay, if this chief pulled you in, and he made you change your mind when it comes to staying in the military, what would you say to someone who is at that point about to become a staff sergeant E5 and is willing to leave the military? What is your advice? And Chief Master Sergeant Daniel Lopez said this: do you have a plan? I said yes. Are you financially well off? Yes. Then I don't want to convince you to go back to the Air Force. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And he said something very profound. It says, what is the percentage that people join the Air Force? And I'm like, I don't know, 1% of the population in the US. Well, then what about the other 99%? Well, you think that they're not, thriving? And yes, of course there are like homelessness and such, but it gave me a lot of reassurance that if 1% of people join the military, and specifically the Air Force, pretty sure if the rest of the 99% of people are able to make it and live it without having to be in the military, I'm pretty sure we'll do well. The same. So
and I agree with that approach, that like, again, you do meet some airmen that you ask, like, oh, you don't seem to be like enjoying, your work days and such. And they're like, I just want to get out, but I got more years to go. And, when you ask like, oh, why you want to get out? Like, what do you want to do? They're like, I don't know. And those are the times it's like, like, that's
might just want to stay in for a little bit before you understand what you're going to do. Yeah,
but maybe the issue is also not something with like, the Air Force or you not enjoying the job, like, because there are some people who are like, no, like, I'm just really want to pursue this other dream, which is kind of like,
which is what we're doing.
Yes, but I feel like there's sometimes maybe just the base is not good, or maybe the people in the office are making those usually like young airmen, or like just young adult airmen, like making them not enjoy their life or so. So sometimes it's like, sometimes you gotta think like, okay, maybe I just need to move. Maybe I just need to stick out till I PCS or something like that. But I feel like our decision was coming more from, okay, we've got plans and we feel like it's the time to make that step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next?
So what's next? I think we've spoke about it in our goal setting video. That 5-10 years down the line is to finish seminary, become a pastor. Usually, whether it's going to be in Europe or in the U.S., Lord knows where that'll be. But that's where we're heading towards. Cafe business or some type of business is on the trajectory. Have a certain amount of kids, be able to visit Ira's family in Ukraine often. That's the next step. Us moving to the States, Tennessee in general. Not saying the city. Maybe we've said the city beforehand, but but that's the next step. The thing that we're most excited about is being plugged into a church for the long term, and then getting poured in as a couple who wants to pursue ministry together as a pastor's wife, Lord willing.
Building good relationships.
Exactly.
Kind of along the same lines.
Yeah.
Like long-term relationships. Even though, again, we did read that like even in a regular community, like people move, but still, it's not like, our whole community is gonna move out and now it's gonna be a new community within next half a year. But
yes.
I'm excited to just have people for our kids to grow around and grow up around and just build those long-term connections. And it's exciting. It's I know I would be telling like our plans for the next half a year was like the move and having the baby, and people would be like, oh, that's a lot. And it's funny because I kind of feel like at some point I'm like, okay, like they sound concerned for me. But I just would usually tell them that like, but it's exciting, it's not like something hard happening that is like just hard just because it's hard, but it's more like, okay, it's hard, but it's exciting to where it can get us, and just exciting to see what the Lord has for us in this new chapter. I mean, it does feel like a new chapter.
Sometimes the enticing, I think we had this conversation, but the enticing thing of stability versus the exciting opportunity of potentiality. And I think there's that potential for us to go in the direction of our own goals rather than having to stick with a safe stability. And for some people, they need to stick in that safe stability, and there's still a way to reach the goals that they want in that safe stability. But I think for us in our certain situation, I think we need to just pull off the Band-Aid and get her done and go into the civilian side of things.
And that's the hard part about the military, which we heard said from people, not just not just separating from the military, finishing their contract, but from people who are even retiring, which there's a difference in the way that like when you retire, you're kind of like provided by the paycheck. So there's big difference in that, a little different like adaptation, but still, even like with retirement, we had our close friends recently retire, and it's hard. Like they were saying that like getting into the military is not always easy. I mean, it depends, but getting out is hard. Like no matter whether you're retiring or separating or whatever is happening, it's really, there's a lot of ties and things you need to work through and documentation you need to do.
Lots of documentation, lots of paperwork.
So it's really, it doesn't get easier. That's what it is. It's just like, you of course evaluate what works best for your family in your case. But even though it feels hard to like leave right now and start looking for a job from scratch, and a lot of places don't accept military experience as real experience, so but still it's like just realizing that it's never going to be easier. It is a very unique life, like work-life balance that just kind of keeps you in it. And either you wait 20 years or you do it now, it's still going to be hard. So that kind of like encourages me that, what we're going through now is not like necessarily harder than what people who are retiring are going through.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to kind of end it off with practical application, just like in a sermon, header, practical application, close. But just some practical applications and just some things that we've been doing when it comes to leaving the military, or maybe you're at a point in time, like if you are 1 year out of your ETS, your separation date, you should be thinking about this. One, again, we said it in the beginning, think about your plans moving forward. Do you have a plan? Are you financially capable? Do you have goals? Two, figure out where you're going to be or what you're going to do. Three, make sure you're networking and setting up all your transferable skills from your military, because there are a ton of transferable skills, into your LinkedIn. LinkedIn's big. It's basically your portfolio, and also your ability to network. Build your LinkedIn, connect with people as much as you possibly can. I sent LinkedIn connections almost every single day, and then it only took me 3 months to get all the way up to 500 plus connections. Make sure you talk to people, send voice notes. Don't use AI to reach out. I tried that. It's not good. Voice notes, people like voice notes. Update your resume, make sure it's very clear cut. Use AI for that, because so that your resume is good for the ads trackers. Hiring Our Heroes has a lot of virtual hiring fairs. Highly recommend that. Was able to get an interview last week. It went very well. Hopefully, thanks to God. Hopefully, hearing back from some managers sometime this week, Lord willing. And then, what else?
As a family, like set goals.
Yes.
Again, just so that you know where you're moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's about it.
There's so many stories you can go through, so many things that you can talk about, like, again, just what we enjoyed, what we can find helpful. But yeah, this is just our thoughts and our experience. Everybody's in a very different place. Even a lot of our friends, like everybody's literally like in a very different place, and you can't clear cut it to every situation. But I hope that this was helpful to maybe some families that, or just even single people in the military who are just trying to think like, am I the only one wanting to get out? And it's like, no, you're not. But do it for the right reasons and make sure you're prepared, because it is definitely a huge transition.
Exactly. And remember, the Air Force or the military isn't bad. But you just got to be aligned in your goals, and that's where we're at, and that's the biggest reason why we're leaving. Loved the Air Force while we were in, taught us a lot of things, gave us a lot of benefits. But on to the next chapter, which is so exciting, my love.
And it's not going to be in the next video, just like they do those videos where it's like, skip to the next
part. We skip to the good part.
It's not going to be that quick and easy, but we hope you come on the journey with us.
Well, stay tuned for the next episode, which is our 10th episode.
Oh,
stay tuned. We're not going to tell you what topic it is just yet, but thank you so much for watching another episode of Climb Along Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Ira.
And have a good one. Ciao.
Bye.